What is going on, Amazon sellers? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We are live from, once again, sunny Central Florida, out from under the cold snap. And I hope that you guys are having an incredible Tuesday. Welcome to the live Amazon FBA Seller Ask Me Anything, where I answer your questions about Amazon, about online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, Keepa, wholesale, you name it. I will help you any way that I can. Glad to see you guys in here today. Hey, Miguel, what's going on? Syed, good to see you. Paulie, what's going on? Hey, Luke, how's it going, man? Matthew, Lynn, Derek, Kent, and Juan. Glad to see you guys. All right. And yes, Syed, happy day number 2 of the OA challenge. I think it went well last night. Tonight, we dive in to Keepa and really get some good information going. All right, I've got a couple of questions, and then I had someone send me a request for a tip today, and so I've got a little something for you guys, and I'll tell you how this can be used in not just one way, excuse me, but 2 different ways. So, Paulie, how do you go about getting refunds for missing inventory or canceled orders from retailers? As I've used gift cards, it's been a lot of back and forth. That is one of the difficulties when you use gift cards. They can be a little bit more difficult, and it's gonna have to be a fight on some of those. That is the one downside of using gift cards. The additional margin that you build in is really nice. And to me, it depends on how much is missing. If it's a good amount and I can't overcome it through sales and profit, then yeah, you need to fight for those. But if it's one unit and I'm going to make $5 on every other sale and I've got 20 other units available, then I usually let it go. And we just call it a cost of doing business. But other than that, you just got to fight. Hey, Derek, I have another Section 3 question for you. After my call, they sent me an email that listed more documents that they needed, but they didn't say where to send them. Any thoughts? You just need to reply to that email. That's all you need to do, and you should be good to go. So is a Better Business Bureau or an FTC complaint over the top? I would say that an FTC complaint might be over the top. Better Business Bureau, not necessarily. Maybe it would get them to listen, but I would try not to do that unless necessary. Matthew, the huge seller pattern I keep seeing on listings, would you stay away from those? Yeah, I would. There is, and I have not double checked this to make sure it's 100% true, but I've been told that they may own or have an ownership stake in the law firm Voorhees, and I know that they will try to keep people off of the listings that they're on. I know some of them they have locked down. There's a jewelry brand. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head that I know that they're on. And they keep that pretty locked down, but I do know that they will file claims. They'll protect their territory. Yeah, so Paulie at $2,000, yeah, absolutely, I'd be fighting for that. Which tool do you recommend for PDF invoice editing or blurring? I use Small PDF, but then I found out I actually canceled Small PDF that on Mac you can actually blur and you can highlight and you can point out things on a PDF right inside the PDF, the native PDF software. Adobe has something as well. And then for screenshots, I use Snagit is what I use. Roslyn, when you sell in the Canadian and Mexican market, Why do you sometimes receive an email about a balance for those markets? Should you turn off selling in those markets and only sell in the US? My opinion is that the US the Canadian and Mexican markets are probably um, more hassle than they're worth unless you're really squeezing all the juice out of the US market and you need to expand. I would imagine that most of us don't really need to expand. I try not to sell outside of the US if at all possible. Hey, Miguel, congratulations, man. Got your Walmart account up and running. That's great. I'm new. Do you have a Keepa webinar I can watch? I've got some Keepa videos on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I can absolutely watch those. I do not have a Keepa webinar at the moment. But once the OA challenge is over, I will probably do a short-lived Keepa webinar. And honestly, I'll probably try to sell you my Keepa Academy, but I will bring some value there as well. You have more info on the 3 Cold Seller 365 coming soon. Will it include the whole TA suite? Will it have Scout IQ? So the $69 and $79 plan is going to include everything. It'll have tactical arbitrage, but it's only going to have the online arbitrage portion. It's going to have product search, going to have reverse search. That'll be the 69 and 79 portion. It will have Scout IQ, Inventory Lab, Scoutify, all of that stuff. The pro level, which I think is at $199 a month, it'll include the full suite of tactical arbitrage, all the other tools, and then I think free reimbursements through their company up to $1 million in sales. All right. Now, we've already had some good questions come through. If you have more, please drop them in the chat. But I'm going to share my screen for a moment. And I promised that I would do a tip of the day today. Someone asked me if there is a way to use Keepa for used media, specifically used books, to be able to find them and flip them. Now, this is not something that I really do, but it is something that I know other people will do. They'll buy a used book from a third-party seller that has dropped below the average selling price. And then they might send it back in FBA and maybe charge a little bit more for it. All right. So the way that you can do that, and it's not perfect, all right, because there's not really a used FBM box that's available. There is just it's either new FBM or it's used, and that's all you get. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look for books where the used price has dropped, and the 30 and 90-day average prices are higher. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the current used price, and I'm going to make it from zero. Actually, I'm going to make it from we'll do $5 to we'll do $10. All right. And then in the 30-day average price, I want this to be $25. Actually, let's see. Sorry, that's not right. I really want it to be we'll do 17 to $30. Okay. And now what this is going to do for me, okay, is this is going to give me items where the current prices are between 5 and 10, and the 30-day average prices are between $17 and $30. So should be a pretty significant dip on these prices right now. Now, like I said, this is not going to be perfect, but it's going to be about as good as you can do that I'm aware of. I haven't really thought about this in detail. All right. And then I'm going to run down here and I'm going to choose the books category. And I'm down to 82,000 products here. That is plenty to go through. Okay. Excuse me. All right. And now what I should see here is I should see products where the used price on the used price on them has gone down pretty significantly. You'll see by this black line right here that sure enough, back in early January, this was averaging a lot of times. This was averaging a lot of times above $25. And now the used price is down around 10. Now, what you can do with this information is you come in here and you open this up on Amazon, and then you start looking, okay, at the used booksellers here. And let me open up the FBM sellers. Bear with me just a moment. There we go. We open up these used booksellers here, and we can see that someone is on this as used acceptable at 874. All right, I don't really want to deal with that. Used very good is at 1416. Used good is at 875 plus the 399 shipping. So you got to make sure that you know that. And if we scroll down a bit and take a look, are there any FBA offers? Well, it doesn't look like there are any FBA offers. Let's go ahead and filter by Prime. Well, there are some. So that 1424, 1848. So you might be able to get 2099 out of this in good condition if you have a good, if you have a good rating. All right. And you're willing to wait a little bit, but this also sells pretty quickly. And it's not like these booksellers have a ton of stock. So you might be able to make just a little bit off of this. Let's say we flip this for $20.99. We can get it for $875. Let's see here. Let's see what this would run us. 8.75 plus $3.99. And someone's selling it for $20.99. Nope, it would be a negative. All right. But if you continue to go through these and look for ones that have a much larger drop, and we could go back to our advanced filter and we could say, you know what? Show me the items where these are $5 to $10, but they're normally $30 to $50 instead. Well, now we've got 32,000 products. Well, let's do 40 to 50. All right. Now we're down to 12,000. And we should see some steeper decreases in the used prices when we look at books. So we'll look at this one here, California Finfish. Well, sure enough, it's dropped quite low, but it's actually not really selling. Okay. We'll go look at, none of these are really that good. Yeah, none of these are really that good. So we'll try another thing here. All right. And instead, what we'll do is we'll run into here, we'll take out all these prices and we'll look for 1-day price drops. We'll say, hey, you know what? Show me everything that has a 50 to 90% price drop today. All right. And now we've got 526,209 products in the books category that has dropped in used price from 50 to 90% that we could go and take a look at. Now, way too many to actually look into. We're not going to look at that one, but let's go and let's look at Hope, the autobiography. Well, sure enough, someone dropped their used price on this significantly. All right. Not really going to sell because Amazon's on this, but I think you get the drift. Okay. Now, this same sort of information can be used for regular flips. All right. So, what we can do in here is we could say, hey, you know what? Show me the items where Amazon is currently out of stock. And sorry, do I have that right? Yeah. Show me the items where Amazon's currently out of stock, and normally they're between $15 and $20. But right now, the price in the buy box is, we'll say 30 to $40. All right. There's 3,235 of these products. And now what we can do here is we can go in and we can take a look. And if Amazon's currently out of stock and the price is up, we can set ourselves Keepa alerts for when Amazon comes back in stock. Well, this one's not really going to work because it was a drop in price while Amazon was in stock a very, very short period of time. But there are going to be other items that we could find. Maybe that one. That may come back in stock. Let's take a look here. Nope. Really looking for something that goes in and out of stock quite frequently. Not that one. Here we go. This would be one. It looks like they were in stock quite a bit, and then they started having some stock troubles, but they come back in stock every now and again. Now, this may be something that is no longer made. I don't know for sure. I'd have to go do some research, but I could set a alert for this at $15.99 from Amazon, and right now it's selling for, it looks like $36.99. If I can get this for $15.99 when Amazon comes back in stock, I can make myself a $10 bill on this. I'll do that all day long. And it looks like this one does sell. Not bad, not great, but not bad either. Selling 100 a month on this would be an easy one to set up an alert for. All right. Lots of opportunity doing these kind of things and setting yourself up for future flips. All right. All right. Let me see if there's any other questions here, and then we'll wrap this up. Have you been using DeepSeek AI? If so, I'd love to hear more about how you're using it. Was just about to try to dump a CSV of some seller ideas I filtered to see if any were any good. I have not tried DeepSeek. I'm not 100% sure, and I that maybe this is me with a tinfoil hat. I don't know. I just am not 100% sure that I want to download an AI from China quite yet. Now, I did hear that Perplexity is using or allows you to use the DeepSeek model. Okay. Let me see here if that is correct. Perplexity, the AI model. I don't see it yet. I'm using GPT-4o, but I thought that Perplexity was going to throw that in there. But they don't have it in mine quite yet. I will try that if they do that first. That way, there's a buffer between me and a Chinese app. Amar, for FBM returns, the customer claimed they didn't receive the order and they got a refund, but tracking shows they actually received it. What steps do you take to get your money back? If this is an FBM item, then I believe with that, you are probably going to have to file a safety claim. So go into Seller Central and look up SAFE-T. That's SAFE-T. And you should be able to file that. I'm pretty sure that's under that. And then you should be able to get reimbursed for that. I'm levitating. Hey, where will the videos of the OA challenge on the Facebook page be if I cannot see the live today? Those are going to be inside of the guides section. I don't know if you saw the video last night, but I went over exactly how to find everything. But if you go into the Facebook group, it's under the guides. It's also in school. We're uploading the replays there. And once the OA challenge is over, I'm going to give them to you over at oachallenge.com. Chris, you're running the OA challenge this week and next with daily live Q&As. That's impressive. I appreciate it. I promised 90 days straight. I got to do it. Excuse me. Although the voice is going to take a little bit of a hit. Paulie, I receive OTP text messages sometimes when I'm not trying to log into my Amazon account. I double check my account, payments, etc. Everything looks okay, but it does sketch me out a bit. Any insight? I would imagine someone's probably trying to force their way in. I would get those too before I switched over to using two-factor authentication with an authentication app on my phone, and now I don't get those anymore. I don't seem to have the trouble because you got to have my phone. You can't send me a text message. And yeah, Mr. Wynn, this is exactly why I haven't downloaded it yet. Those terms of service, they are a little gnarly, and I'm sure that, and I'm not a terms of service reader. Typically, I'm not going to, say that I am, but I really don't want it, checking out my keystrokes and all that stuff. And it is sending that information, back to China. Chinese government is not necessarily the best. And so I don't know. How will Perplexity use it? So with Perplexity, the way that Perplexity works, let me just open this up, make sure there's nothing here that is... Yeah, okay. Nothing here that I can't share. So the way that Perplexity works is it allows you to choose an AI model. And the AI models that they have available are their default version. And I don't know what that is. I need to go look. But they've got Claude 3.5, which is the most advanced model by Anthropic. They've got Sonar by Perplexity. They've got GPT-4o by OpenAI, and they've got Grok 2 from Twitter or XAI. And you can choose any of these models. For quite some time, I was using Grok 2 just to see what my results were like. I just switched to GPT-4o yesterday to see how things changed, and they're both pretty good. I've read on Twitter that DeepSeek was going to be available here. Have not seen it yet in my account anyway, so I'm going to have to do a little bit more digging. Hey, Chris, how do I find winning products? Well, I'll tell you what, Danny, that is a bit more, that's a bit deeper of a question than I can really go over right now because I've got about 4 minutes left here. But the biggest thing is you need to put in your reps. You're going to need to spend a lot of time sourcing. And this is simple. It is not easy, but it is pretty simple. First thing that you should do as a newer seller who is asking, how do I find winning products, is number one, go out to and find a sale somewhere. Okay. I don't care where it is. It can be Target, it could be Walmart, it could be Kohl's, it could be one of the thousands of other sites that are out there, but find a sale. And then go see if there are any discount codes that you can use in addition to the sale. And then see if there are any discount gift cards you can use in addition to all of those. And that is how you lower your cost of goods sold as far as possible. Then go through that sale and try to match every single product to a product on Amazon. Use some sort of profit calculator, whether that's Seller Amp or it's Rev Seller, doesn't matter, and calculate what the profit would be. Now, if you're not comfortable making buys yet, that's okay. Put everything into a spreadsheet. The store, how much you're going to pay for it, how much it is on Amazon right now, the links to both places, what your ROI would be, what date you would buy it, and what your profit would be, and then don't buy it. Okay. But in 2 weeks from now, go check the price on Amazon and see what it is. Okay. And if it stayed fairly flat or maybe just gone down a little bit, but it's still profitable, well, there you go. You did a good job, and you were able to source something that is profitable or seems like it is profitable. Okay. Call that paper trading. Really easy way to kind of figure if this works or not without spending any money. But there is a ton more. There's a lot of other ways that you can source. But the overarching idea is spending a lot of time looking at a lot of products. Hey, Ting, I've watched the Keepa module 1. I have some ASINs that don't sell very well. How do you use the alert feature for those existing ASINs? You just open them up on Amazon, and you can go out and set an alert for the price to go up. But honestly, I would not hold on to those for too long. Like, you need to have a rule in place. Like, if I bought some inventory and it soured, it's going down in price at X number of days, it's time for me to liquidate, because your purchase of that product is a sunk cost. You're not going, there's no way to get that back until you sell it. And even if you have to take a little bit of a loss, that's okay. You can come back and you can do better on the next one. Manish, I took the OA challenge a few years back. Can I get the alumni discount? Technically, we are closed, but if you want to shoot me a DM, then yes. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up a little early today. And sorry that I put my tinfoil hat on about DeepSeek. We'll see how that goes. But I'm going to wrap it up a little early so I can go say hey to the family before we start the OA challenge day number 2. Guys, I hope you absolutely crush Tuesday and you have a kick-ass Wednesday. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 5:30 with my co-host, Chris Rasick. We'll go over some news and take some of your questions. Have a great day, everybody.